Hey guys, it's Damien. I'm back. I've got another video I'm going to talk about today. This is actually really cool. This is something that I haven't touched on just yet on any of my videos, but is in regards to selling internationally on eBay, specifically eBay. And if you don't know my story, really quick, my wife and I started a small candy company. We started small out of our home initially, and then we grew that business online into a commercial licensed facility, selling our products to 15 countries so far. We have shops on Amazon, we are on eBay, we're on Etsy, and everyone in between. And of course, the brittlebox.com, which is our company website. So we have now about 500 to 600 items. Right now, Amazon store, we've got just under 600, and we've got 500 and change on Etsy. And of course, our company website, we have over 1,000 plus products. Many of the items that we sell, we actually make. They're handmade candies and such. So that is what I do. That's how I started. And of course, I do these videos to try to help anybody that has a recipe, or you have a food product or candy item that you are interested in selling and making money with. My videos are geared towards what you do. And by the way, just to let you know, if you are wanting to make it a full-time business and you want to make a living doing it, my answer to you is yes, you can. And not only in a small way, but in a very big way. You have to stick with it, of course, and every single day work towards it. And you got to be on social media. You've got to be posting your products, marketing it. Not necessarily a lot of work per se, because since I've owned my business, I really haven't worked a day at all. So I don't want to take up much of your time. I like to make my videos short and sweet and to the point. This video is going to be about selling internationally on eBay in regards to food products. Really more specifically, the food products that you make yourself, of course. But if you are in a business, or you want to get into the business of selling or reselling food products, it can be extremely profitable. And I'm going to give you 3 quick reasons why selling food can be extremely profitable. Number 1, this is the biggest thing I've ever learned from selling online, is that everything that is near you for you to buy is not near somebody else for them to buy. And what does that mean? Okay. There are a lot of niche products, gluten-free, sugar-free products, very hard to find products, gourmet items, sauces, herbs, seasonings, different candies, different types of shelf-stable, long life shelf-stable products that you can get at a store near you. But there could be somebody in Ohio, there could be somebody in Florida, there could be somebody anywhere in the country that may not have access to that product. And where they're going to go? They're going to go online. So that creates a huge opportunity for you to make money selling products that are not easy to find, that are kind of hard to get. What I say by that, just to get a little bit more into it, is that there's a lot. Let's say we use Amazon as an example really quick. Amazon sells, of course, everyday stuff: toothpaste, toothbrushes, toilet paper, paper towels. Now, to be honest with you, those types of things are very readily available pretty much anywhere and everywhere. But if you were to get into a gluten-free chocolate chip cookie that your son loves, but one of your kids have a gluten intolerance, and it's hard for them to find it, but you sell it and you can sell it online, and you've got something that's a really niche product, you could take it and buy it for $2 and turn around and sell it for $12. Just as a really quick example off the top of my head. So basically the point I'm trying to make is that there is a lot of products that people are desperately looking for, and they will pay a premium on top of what you may think to yourself, who in the world would pay $12 for a box of candy or a box of cookies? If you had a certain type of physical ailment or some type of allergic reaction to certain foods, and you could provide that product, you're going to pay for it. It's not necessarily like you're ripping people off, you're trying to gouge them. It's just a matter of you making a profit and offering a product that serves a purpose for someone who is gluten intolerant, I guess we could say. So anyways, back to what I was saying. If you're going to get into selling food, or if you're already in it, you're looking for some type of a new additional revenue, different avenues and different sources to sell it to, eBay International, eBay UK, and of course the Latin America eBay, and they even have an eBay Australia, if I'm not mistaken. These are all great and fantastic sites. And of course Amazon, if you're on Amazon, they offer international selling too. Now, just a few things really quick to think about if you're going to get in the business of selling internationally. When it comes to food products, if you see me looking down, I've actually got some notes here on my computer that I'm trying to read off to you, so I don't mean to be rude to look away from the camera, but I'm looking at some notes. Okay, so if you want to just resell products, let's say there's a product that's already pre-made, it's already made by a manufacturer, not yourself. Get a product specifically that's got a long shelf life. Of course, many products that is sitting on a shelf that's not refrigerated, that's not in some type of container or apparatus that has to be temperature controlled, those just stay away from. Don't even bother with it. The packing of dry ice, I've had people ask me about shipping products, dairy products and cheese products. Don't even bother. There's so many products out there that do not need any type of refrigeration during transit. Don't even waste your time. But if you're going to offer them, look for products that have long shelf life. There is a majority of the products that are on the grocery store that you can buy. You can source them through a Walmart. You can go to Whole Foods. Some specialty stores, even mom and pop stores. If it's unique and off the wall and something a little different, double check to make sure that it has a long shelf life. Why does it need a long shelf life? If you're going to ship abroad, you're going into Latin America, traditional shipping methods that would be within the U.S. a priority mail of 2 days, maybe 3 days at the most. Going internationally, it could be 5 to 7 or even 10 days. You have to remember and keep in mind that other countries don't necessarily process mail as fast as the U.S. does, and some of the countries do. But you don't know the ins and outs of every single delivery service that's available in the UK or Latin America, South America, or anywhere in Australia. So keep in mind the transit time it takes for you to pack your product and ship it. So keep that in mind. The other thing I would recommend, if you're going to get in the business of selling internationally, try to find products that are not going to be breakable. Glass jars, anything that could be in a glass jar, crushed, anything like in a really light plastic container. Try to stay away from those. I don't get into dealing with those. I would definitely recommend something that's in a rigid container of some kind, a can of some kind. Even a bag, if it happens to be a bag that has a very rigid wall on the bag, those are great. When you're packing them, of course, make sure you pack them extremely well, because keep in mind that it's going internationally. There is a lot of items that do great also during heat and summer. You got to keep that in mind too. Seasonally speaking, different parts of the world have different temperatures, different climates. You have to keep in mind the fact that going into a winter season or you're going into a summer season, if it is chocolate related or something that could melt, a hard candy could even get to about 100 to 110 degrees or higher in transit, and that would obviously kind of disfigure and change the candy, and it becomes one big blob. I've gone through this and experienced it and learned from it, but stay away from something like that. Keep in mind, like I said, your shipping destination as far as the amount of time it takes to travel your product there. Keep in mind temperatures. The weather has a factor to do with it as well. And of course, you can't control the elements of the weather. I got that. But if you're shipping something across the world and it's happens to be a really hot and humid summertime or something to that effect over there, pack your product accordingly based upon that. So, when you're on eBay, the other great thing is military. A lot of people don't offer international shipping, nor do they offer shipping to an APO. Military address, I don't see any reason why not. There's a lot of people who don't like to do that. I've never had a single problem shipping to an APO, military address, or even internationally. I've had a few orders that have arrived that were a little damaged or broken. I either just partial refund, or send some of the money back, or I make the product again and I reship it. Personal preference, I don't like to give refunds. I would rather just replenish the product, because keep in mind that your customer came to you to buy a product. They didn't come to you to give your money to them and then give it back. Doesn't make any sense. Most of the times that I've had incidences where there has been an issue with shipping, and I reship the product and it arrives perfect, I have a customer who comes back over and over. I actually have a customer in Singapore that buys chocolate-covered pretzel rods from me. And those pretzel rods, they arrived. The first time I shipped it, they were broken, so I reshipped. And they came perfect. And I've got 3 or 4 new orders from that customer. Spent nearly over $100, $200 on just pretzels because I did that. I'm not telling you that to brag. I'm just telling you that the bottom line is your customers come to you for a product. I would rather it'd be best for you, for your business, just to send the product and not refund it. If the customer specifies that, of course, just give them their money back and call it a day. Lastly, I'll look at my notes. So yes, the other thing that you want to keep in mind is that when it comes also to international buyers, a lot of them may be looking to spend the extra money for a product if you were to increase the price for a product. And they'll pay that. Many times, of course, with the different currency exchange rates and such, and the value of this dollar compared to the euro and so on and so on, a lot of times Europeans and many people around the world will end up paying more, and they're likely to pay for more towards a product that they can't get near them. And again, it always comes back to location and then the availability of product. So if there's something that maybe even an American citizen who has moved to Europe and they miss having chocolate pretzel rods, let's just say, they'll be willing to pay a premium for it because they don't have that near them. And it may not necessarily be something that they're going to buy from you every week or every month, but if they end up treating themselves to something, keep that in mind too, is that they will end up paying extra and paying a premium, which is fantastic because you just make more money. Lastly, when you think about back to the military really quick, the military servicemen and women, when they're stationed all over the world and they don't have access to American food per se, or something that they love, if it happens to be Doritos, something that like a chip or a specialty item that they used to get here in the States, they don't have direct access to it, that's a plus for you too, because that'll become a customer who's looking for an item that you offer, and maybe it's 2 or 3 times the price that they would normally buy it here, and they'd be willing to pay for it just because of the fact they don't have access to it. So there's a few tips. I've got some other great videos coming up on cottage kitchens as well. I am working on an ebook series. I'm going to start with 5 states. Got a new camera, and I'm trying to figure out how the camera works. 5 states, and it's actually opposite. 5 different states specifically on their cottage food laws, and it will give you a great grasp, a really good understanding, a good starting point, these ebooks on where to go from here and where you start from, and then you want to grow, and I'm going to give you the resources to locate the people you can talk to, health department phone numbers, all that great stuff on each state. I think it's going to be Texas, California, Florida, and then I think it was the Carolinas and Georgia. Those will be the states I'll start with. Those ebooks are going to be on Amazon, and they're going to be like $3.99, very inexpensive, but the amount of resources in one place in this book will save you time and a tremendous amount of money searching around for resources. The books will include also the companies I buy stuff from, as far as products, to package products, labels, all that good stuff, resources in there. So it'll make it easy for you to kind of go to those websites and get what you need to get your cottage kitchen started. And then some tips and pointers on marketing it and selling it locally, and then growing yourself into something bigger. So thank you guys. I appreciate it. If you got any questions or comments, please do leave them down below. I do answer them as soon as I can. Give me a thumbs up if you like my video. If you don't, give me a thumbs down. That's perfectly fine too. I appreciate your honest opinion, and I will see you on my next video.